Hi, hello, welcome to May. I'm here just very quickly because I just got a new keyboard. My fiance bought it for me for my birthday. It arrived yesterday and I set it up and I did a little bit of a typing test and it's absolutely fantastic. So I just came to tell you why you're about to watch me open a keyboard. But yes, I'm very excited and I'm also getting a little stand for it that's coming in the mail today. So I'll also take a clip of that and show you the full setup once it's done. My writing space is not the most aesthetic, but I do what works for me. We live in a small apartment and I need to shrink everything down as much as possible. But I hope you enjoy and I hope you like my new keyboard. I've used it a little bit yesterday and today and I 10 out of 10 would recommend it. It is the Mechlans Blade 101. Very sturdy, very heavy, very great quality. The keys are very easy to press down on. It sounds so creamy and delicious. 10 out of 10 would recommend. So if you're looking for a new keyboard, check that one out. And enjoy me setting up or trying my best to. It is only the 2nd of May. The month just started, but yesterday was kind of a shit show for me, but in a funny way. So I thought I'd tell you the story. And then also at the end of April, I went to a wedding, so I thought I'd tell you about that. But first of all, yesterday. Yesterday was one of those days that I woke up and it just felt like all of the energy inside of my body had been completely drained. By 2, I was like, I can't function. I need to take a nap, which is rare for me. I don't take naps. So I went and I was watching a video. It was a British tourist in North Korea that my fiance sent me. So I was watching that and then I fell asleep during part 2 and I woke up 30 minutes later. I was like, okay, I'm gonna sleep the day away, so I'm going to set an alarm. And I set it for 4 in the afternoon to wake me up. And then went straight back to sleep. Like, I was setting the alarm with one eye open. I was so tired, went back to sleep, completely forgetting that I was meeting with our florist consultant at 4. So I'm napping. I'm like in a tiny little bowl on the reading chair napping. Didn't even have the energy to come nap in bed. And then the inevitable happens and my alarm goes off at exactly 4 and I was going to go back to sleep. I was like, I'm turning this off and going back to sleep. But I swiped away the alarm and I just see a giant notification that says your meeting with florist starts now. And that's when I remembered. So I get up, I run to the fridge, take a chug of energy drink so that I can at least just think a little bit, run back, put my glasses on, turn my laptop on, and enter the meeting about 5-ish minutes late. And then throughout the entire meeting, because I had just woken up, I didn't prep anything, I couldn't remember what ballroom my fiance and I are getting married in. I could not remember our seating chart, how many tables we were having. I was like a complete mess. It was very embarrassing, but yeah, that happened and that was just like a lot. But the actual meeting went very well. She's very nice. She's very excited. She loves our theme, and they have a lot of the things that I thought I was going to have to DIY myself, because originally I wasn't going to get a florist at all. I was going to DIY everything myself. And then I actually started wedding planning and realized why people pay more to have people do things for them, because it is so stressful. So we're in the midst of figuring that out. Plus our venue, in our package, my bouquet, my fiance's boutonniere, and then our wedding arch is included. And this florist that I met with is going to be doing that for us. And so we were kind of like, why not just get centerpieces as well, and they can provide a lot of things for our theme, which we wouldn't have to buy ourselves then, which is nice. So really like her, love her ideas. She's very, very kind and excited for us. So I'm excited to get the proposal and see like what we can do and if we can go with them. As for the wedding we went to, that was actually the reason we decided to go with the flowers, because that was the first wedding my fiance and I went to as an engaged couple, as people who are wedding planning ourselves, and they had very beautiful flowers, and we were just like, you know what, it really does do a lot for the reception to have flowers. And so that's why my fiance actually said something very funny, because it was his cousin that got married, and then him and I are getting married in November. His other cousin is getting married in December, and then his brother is getting married next September. So my fiance was like, oh my god, we're in 4 weddings. This is just the first wedding that we're going to and judging, which I thought was really funny, because he knows that show because I watch it, and occasionally I'll put it on if he's like working out or something, and so he'll see it just over there as he's working out over there. And so I thought that was very funny that he said that, because it did kind of feel that way. But honestly, a lot of things at that wedding was beneficial, so we could see if there were certain things we wanted or didn't want, such as the flowers. That was a turning point for both of us. But the actual wedding was beautiful. The ceremony took place on a rooftop, which it was so strange because the rooftop was on the 5th floor, and there was a pool and a restaurant and a bar, and then you go down to the 4th floor that also has a tiny rooftop, and that's where the ceremony was. But what sucked was on the 5th floor there were no obstacles and there was a pool, so there was a lovely breeze. But the 4th floor rooftop was just a tiny, it was almost like a very large balcony as opposed to a rooftop, and so there was no wind. It was so incredibly warm. But luckily it was partially overcast that day, and so the sun was going in and out of clouds, so when it was behind clouds the actual temperature wasn't too high. It was just once the sun was beaming down on you. And they also had a pretty short ceremony, so we were only out there for maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Then we went down to the lobby for cocktail hour. That was the one thing about their wedding I didn't enjoy. You had to go to the 4th floor for the ceremony, you had to go down to the lobby for cocktail hour, and then back up to floor 2 for the reception. And they had 2 lifts that's capacity was maybe 7 people, and at the wedding was like 120 people, so getting places took quite a while. But that wasn't really their fault, it's just they had a tiny lift at the hotel. But yeah, we went down to cocktail hour and just really chatted with family, and then about 15-ish minutes before the cocktail hour ended, I went and changed out of my heels into flats, and then we all went up to the reception area. It was really beautiful. It was a giant cube of just windows, and they were at a very beachy place. So outside was a bunch of palm trees with fairy lights wrapped around them. It was really, really beautiful. Unfortunately though, my fiance and I were not sat with any of our family members. We were sat at table 2 that was right next to the DJ, and you are the speaker and I am my fiance, and then I was maybe like right here, like right at this edge. So our eardrums were blown out. we got up and just stood by the bar for most of it until the food was dropped off. And then I went and sat with him for a little bit while he ate. I talked about this last month. I got the eggplant parmesan because they had a red meat option, a seafood option, and a vegetarian option. I don't eat red meat. I don't like seafood, and then I can't eat dairy. But I got the eggplant parmesan thinking it would probably just be pasta and red sauce. And then the eggplant parmesan, I just won't touch that. I'll eat the pasta, and then I made myself a peanut butter and syrup bagel, and I wrapped that in foil and I brought that with in a little lunchbox that has ice coolers in it to keep the sandwich like good. So that was the original plan, but then right before we left, I got very, very anxious. And so I told my fiance, I was like, can we please, when we get there, just stop and get me anywhere, just chicken nuggets and some chips. Or I guess most of you are Americans of French fries. I call them chips. But can we just get me some nuggies and chips so that I have dinner, because I just had like a really bad gut feeling and I was very anxious, and I was like, if I can't eat all of it, we can have it as a midnight snack when we get back from the wedding. It's fine. I would just rather do that. And room service is usually very expensive, and I didn't even know if the hotel had room service. So I was just feeling very anxious, and I was worried that one singular bagel would not be enough. So we did that. I ate about half of my meal before the ceremony, and then when the food got there, thank goodness I did that. No pasta. It was just 3 slices of eggplant parmesan, like encrusted breadcrumbs and parmesan, ricotta layers that are like between my nails, that thick. It was like an inch of ricotta between each slice, and there were 3 slices, and then just a dollop of, I think, mozzarella melted on top. So no pasta. It was just the eggplant, and apparently it was very bad. And so me counting on being able to eat half the meal, there was nothing for me to eat. So what I ended up doing was, for the first 5 minutes of my fiance eating, I just cut up the parmesan and mushed it together to make it look like I'd eaten it. And then I put my knife and fork away, and I was like, while you eat, I am going to go upstairs and eat as well. And he made friends with the guy sitting next to him, so they were chatting while I was gone. And I only took like 10 minutes. I ate very quickly, but I ate the rest of my nuggets and my chips, and then I also ate some of my bagel, and then I went downstairs, and I was very relieved that I'd done that. I told my fiance, we are doing that with every wedding we go to, because clearly I cannot count on there being food for me to eat. And you do not want to go to a wedding and drink and have fun and then realize that there's no food for you. And so I'm going to be doing that from now on. And honestly, I think we might even double up, because when we got back to the room, my fiance and I, he was like, do you still have some of your nuggets or chips left? And I was like, no, I ate. And he was very disappointed because he'd hoped that he could have some. I think we're definitely going to do that in the future again. But other than that, the wedding was beautiful, so much fun. His family is an absolute hoot, so we were dancing the whole night away. So it was a really great time. The food situation just kind of sucked, which incredible too, because it was plated dinner, so on my where the plate is, it says my full name, allergy, dairy, and pecans, and then they just plop a bunch of cheese in front of me. That was insane to me. So that's something else. We're doing our tasting in June that I'm going to be so serious about and tell them, if someone has an allergy, accommodate that. I'm not trying to kill anybody at my wedding or starve them. So that happened, but overall, beautiful wedding, amazing experience. It was so much fun. And then afterwards, we went back to the room, showered, and then we sat on the balcony for like a solid hour and a half. And there was like this lovely ocean breeze, and we were just people watching because there was a bar right in front of our room, and the train was going by. It was just a lovely time. So that has been the end of my April and the beginning of my May. Tomorrow we are going suit shopping for my fiance. I'm very excited to see what he picks out, and I think either tonight or maybe tomorrow, the day after, within the next 3 days, we will be buying our final plane ticket for our honeymoon. So we need 4 plane tickets. We have 3 out of the 4. We're going to buy the final one to come back home. So that's exciting, because then we can start actually itinerary planning. But it's very exciting, and so I can't wait to do that. And I definitely can't wait to see my fiance try on his wedding suit. It's going to be very fun, very exciting, and yeah. Oh, and then Sunday we are having an early Mother's Day breakfast with his mom because she'll be in town. So that'll be fun. And that's really all that we have planned. So I will check in probably next week with updates on how the shopping went. Hi, I'm back. So it is the 15th, and if you can't tell, I got my hair dyed yesterday. So I got it actually dyed black, but I got it a warm tone black, so it's very reddy, which is why it kind of looks brown in the sunlight. Yeah, so I don't know if you can tell more, you can kind of see it in the back. It's definitely black, but it has like a red undertone, which I really love, but it definitely looks very brown on camera. But yes, I got it cut and dyed yesterday. I'll show you what it looks like. I didn't really want any of the length taken off except like the dead ends because I'm growing my hair out for the wedding, but that's what it looks like. I got more layers cut, which is oh, you can see it's black now, but I got more layers cut and then I got my fringe trimmed. And then, yeah. I really like it. I like it a lot more than the black I was in March, because this is like I said, it was a red tone black and the other one was Raven, so it was more of a blue toned black. And I don't like cool colors on me. I prefer warm colors on me. It's why my engagement ring's gold and why I like wearing reds and burnt orange and all those colors. I do like cool colors occasionally, but not like clothing wise, not jewelry or hair dye or makeup wise, because it makes me feel like I look a little dead and I don't really like that much. But it was very exciting to finally go and get my hair cut because I needed my hair cut. I hadn't had my hair cut in over a year, in 14 months. The last time I had my hair cut before yesterday was in March of 2024. So it was fun. I went to a new hairdresser and she was very lovely. I really liked her and she did a really good job. So I'm excited to go back to her. The next haircut will definitely be maybe a week or so before the wedding, just so that I have fresh layers, healthy ends, especially because we're going on our honeymoon right after the wedding, so that my hair is at its healthiest when traveling. Really haven't done too much. My fiance bought his wedding suit. I don't know if I told you about this already. I might have, so I'll keep it short, but he looked very handsome. Spoilers. And his jacket is actually ready. We are going to go pick it up tonight, and then we're probably going to go buy his shoes next month. We're in July. And then get his trousers hemmed. That's very exciting, very good. I'm happy to like have that off the list because it was kind of stressing me out that he didn't have his outfit yet. But yeah, haven't really done much. I've kind of been just at home mostly. Wedding planning, we're trying to get the florals figured out. We're hoping to sign a contract today, especially because if you are not wedding planning but are going to be wedding planning soon, know that they don't hold your date until you pay your deposit and sign the contract. Sometimes they'll be nice. Our venue held our date for us for a month because we told them that we're most definitely going to get it. We just wanted to bring his dad and his stepmom on a tour because they offered to help us like read through the contract and everything. And then our photographer, I asked her, could she just hold the date for a week while we quickly just figure out our budget? And she was really nice about that. So usually sometimes if you ask really nicely and if you're kind, they'll hold it for you, but know that your date's not getting held until you pay them. So be aware. So we're hoping to sign the floral contract so that we don't lose our date. And I'm quite excited for that because originally I was going to DIY all of our centerpieces for the wedding. And now I'm kind of at a point where it's like, you know what, I'm trying so hard to enjoy wedding planning, but it is genuinely so stressful. There are some people in the industry that really just don't care that it's your wedding day and they make your life a lot harder. And so I'm just like, you know what? Let's just have them do it because they have things beyond florals that they're going to bring for centerpieces and decor that match our theme. They've done themes similar to us, so they know exactly what I want. And so essentially all of the decor, aside from like the trays we're putting our cupcakes on or the name cards and small things like that, they're doing for us. So that takes a lot off of my plate, which is nice because I did realize like, oh, between getting ready and panicking because I'm getting married that day, I'm gonna have to set up the whole room. And so I'm happy that that will not be on my plate anymore, and I will have somebody else to take care of that. And they also deliver everything and they clean up afterwards. So I'm just very happy to not have to deal with any of that, and I can just enjoy the actual day of. But yeah, I'm trying very hard to enjoy the wedding planning because I'm only ever gonna do this once. But it's been very roller coastery, I guess you could say. Like I said, I haven't been up too much, but this weekend we are driving up to a different town. It's about 4 hours away, so it's like a mini road trip. We're leaving Saturday and coming back Sunday to go just hang out and see my fiance's best friend for the first time in maybe over a year at this point. And he has a new partner, they have a new baby together, so we're going to meet both of them for the first time. It's very exciting. He's lovely, I've met him before, and I'm sure his partner is very lovely, and I can't wait to meet their little baby. I've seen pictures and he is absolutely adorable, so that's going to be fun. And we haven't seen him in a very long time, so I know my fiance is very, very excited to go see them. And then that's all that we're really doing. Of course, next week we have Rachel Gillig release day. Happy Rachel Gillig release day to all that celebrate. I cannot wait. I'm just like shaking in my boots, waiting for my package to arrive at the door. The reason I want to read this one so quickly, I'm not one of those people that believe you must read books on their release day or else, but when it comes to books I'm really excited about, such as Emily Henry, Abby Jimenez, Rachel Gillig, Stephanie Garber, I like to read them as soon as they come out because one, I genuinely can't wait for it, and then two, I really want to finish it before everybody else has their opinions out, because I really want to know what I think before people can ruin it. Because unfortunately I am one of those people where if I really love a series, I can't watch bad reviews on them. Like if you don't, favorite series, Once Upon a Broken Heart, obviously I have so many copies. If you don't like Once Upon a Broken Heart, that's fine. I don't care about that. However, I don't want to know why, because then that will just ruin the series for me. And for me, 5 stars in my favorite series aren't because they're literally masterpieces and aren't necessarily because they told me, it's about what they made me feel. And so I really like reading highly anticipated releases and figuring out for myself how I feel so that I know, and then I can go see other people's reviews and everything. Like for example, one YouTuber made a reading vlog reading an arc of, what's it called? The new V.E. Schwab book, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. I've never read a V.E. Schwab book, but I've heard what that one's about and I can't wait to read it. But I also want to go into it and form my own opinion before I know others. So one YouTuber that I love watching made a reading vlog on it with other arcs that she was reading, but I just have that video sitting in my watch later because I don't want to know her opinion and ruin that book for me maybe before it comes out, because if she didn't like it, I highly value her opinion. I take book recs from her all the time, so it would ruin it for me. And so usually when I do that, then I have my watch later build up with like 8, 9, 10 videos of people reading these books that I haven't read yet, and then that makes me anxious as well. So in general, that's why I like reading them quickly, because one, I'm very excited and I can't wait, and two, I just need to know for myself before I can know anybody else's, and I don't like putting that off because it makes spoilers and opinions and everything just a lot more difficult to get away from. So yes, that's me, but I'm very excited. Cannot wait. So yeah, I think this month is going to end off positively. That is really it for right now. Like I said, been kind of just not busy at all. It's been raining so much lately that I haven't really left the house, which kind of sucks, but it's all right. So I'll check in a few days, in a couple weeks, when hopefully more things have happened. Wish me luck with the florals, because it's almost time for me to send that email. So yeah.